Welcome back to the Popcorn Hour. I'm Matt, and this is James, and today we're doing our Criterion of the month, which is the movie Night of the Living Dead. Can you see that? You said you flipped the cover.
Yeah, I'll give you. Here's the. I think you can probably see that.
Yeah, that looks better.
Your camera.
That looks better.
And then I'll just take the whole thing out. Yeah, that just looks so cool. Yeah. I don't know how legible this is gonna be. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what have you watched before we start that?
Finished Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah. The Night of the Living Dead, and then I've been watching a lot of old wrestling stuff on YouTube. Jackson's always like, "Can we watch wrestling? Can we watch wrestling?" And technically, wrestling is on every day, but I don't watch every day. So I just put some stuff on YouTube and just have that on in the background. But that was pretty much it. All right. Start off with our short spoiler-free moment. First thoughts.
So if you don't know, this movie is like the foundational zombie movie. And for the first half, I pretty much was like set in stone that this was like just a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, no. Now I see why this movie is so special.
Mm-hmm.
Once everything started to kind of once I saw the full thing, the full art piece, you know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. It was good, and I really liked it. But there were definitely parts that was dated, very dated. It is black and white, which I like black and white movies.
Yeah, which was a little weird because it came out in '68.
Yeah.
And the whole time watching it, all I was thinking was, this is the same year that 2001: A Space Odyssey came out, and like Once Upon a Time in the West. Mm-hmm. And I was like, those movies just look so amazing, and they almost just feel like so much more. And it's a weird thought that these came out the same year, but this one is still great. But it's just weird. It's a weird thing to think about. It's trippy.
Yes. There are some issues I have with it, and I think most of it is just the fact that it is dated compared to like what we have now. So, but overall, it was good. So, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to get in to the
all right
to the flesh.
All right, spoilers incoming. Like I said, we're doing Night of the Living Dead, year 1968. Director George A. Romero. This is his feature film debut as well. I didn't know that. It's obviously horror, thriller, only a 96-minute runtime, which is nice. Plot summary. Barbara and her brother Johnny visit a rural cemetery where they're attacked by a strange man. Johnny is killed and Barbara flees to a nearby farmhouse. As night falls, she joins a group of strangers barricaded inside, fending off the rising dead. Tensions inside the house become as dangerous as the flesh-eating ghouls outside, leading to a bleak and shocking conclusion. Definitely shocking conclusion.
Ben, the main character?
Yes, Ben. Yes, the main character gets shot in the end.
Yeah, gets just shot in the face.
Like, they didn't see... First off, these zombies, and they're ghouls. Mm-hmm. They're called ghouls in the movie. They're smart.
Yeah.
Very, like, smarter than most zombie films that we see nowadays or TV shows. Like, they're just mindless. And
especially in... like Zombieland Double Tap, a whole joke is that one type of zombie is called the Homer, like Homer Simpson, because they're stupid.
Yes, but so I can see where the search party sees Ben through the window and then just like automatically shoots him. Like, but we see him pointing a gun as well. So in our minds, it was like, whoa, not that we already know that like Ben is fine, like he's not a ghoul or zombie, but they just without hesitation just
Yeah.
shoot him through the head.
And then, well, because of how they lined up the shot, no pun intended, pun intended actually, they because of like the sun, you in the windows boarded up, all you see is a silhouette, and it's kind of hard to make out the gun, especially if you're that guy that like I mean all you're doing all day is shooting people, like shooting zombies. You're probably not gonna like see the rifle, and then also the fact how they were just kind of now that because of like the zombie like outbreak, I guess because this is the first like depiction of a zombie outbreak, then they would have like I'm sure that they didn't want to have a straggler, like someone that they just picked up.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense ish why they killed him, but it was still just jarring. And in the credits, when you see them with like hooks, like just pick them up and like
Pick him
batter
up
them.
and drag him and to the bonfire. I like that because it made it seem like this was a real life event and they were just like crime scene photos that like had been published by media. So that was cool.
I will say though with this one, it reminded me of something I heard someone say about Tarantino's debut with Reservoir Dogs, is that this movie's so weird because it's so incredible that this is a first feature length like this is their debut, but like it's so far like advanced and like mature for a director to do something like this for their first movie, but at the same time only a director could do this for their first movie.
Yeah.
So it's just this weird area that's like I feel it just makes it that much more special, like Reservoir Dogs.
I definitely feel like this was a shot in the dark almost of whether or not people would like it or it would be successful or anything like that. I think over time definitely has become really popular. Obviously with all the depictions of zombies and things that we get nowadays, it's definitely like a cornerstone to that happening.
Yeah, even like throughout this, I could like see shots where I was like, "Oh, that movie literally just stole that shot." Like Shaun of the Dead, when what was her name? Bethany, the girl
And Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. When Barbara is like when she gets pulled by them, that is exactly what they do in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
When that one guy dies.
Yeah, and also, I mean, typically
And when he's sitting in the basement.
Typically in these types of movies, there's always that one character that is scared out of their minds, and they're acting erratic and just irritating and very selfish. And this movie had that with I don't
Cooper?
remember. Yes, Cooper, and he's kind of all over the place with what he's trying to do, and he's just trying to keep his mind in the right headspace when he's going to after they boarded up everything and they're like, oh, here's a weak spot, we need to fix this and yada yada yada. But like his attire reminded me a lot of Sean.
Yeah, that's what I said when we were talking about the other day. Yes. I was like, yeah, he just looks like Sean.
Yes, but I feel like there's always that one person in these types of movies that is dressed like that. Since then, there's like the dress nice, dress pants, button down shirts, rolled up with a tie, and I want to know what color that tie actually was, because if it was red, that'd be really funny.
You've got red on you, but I think I didn't realize or I didn't anticipate that in every zombie apocalypse thing there's always this weird metaphor that the people are actually the monster or the ghoul or whatever. So there's always like an antagonist that is a human, and I didn't expect that the first movie that were to do this were to execute that. And usually I don't really like it when they do that because it always just comes off as being so forced. But this one was definitely one of my like top 3 favorite versions of like a zombie apocalypse with an antagonist
human. Like a normal person. Yeah, that's kind of why I started to not necessarily like The Walking Dead, because every season there is that it's a new person or a new group of people that are like that, and then like after a while, it gets to be too much, and
Yeah.
I think season 11 is kind of when I stopped watching, and that one felt very, very, very forced.
Because it's weird. Naturally, it should be a man versus self story if they're alone, or a man versus nature story, because that like Castaway.
Mm-hmm.
Like it should be like that, but for some reason it's always a person, and I think I know why once we get to this story after this later. But I think the biggest limitation for this movie is the time. And because I think he was a first time director, maybe people like the cast might not have like taken it too serious, like the background characters not taking it as seriously, or I don't think they really understood it at all. Because a lot of the zombies are just kind of like they're almost kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
They just seem awkward, and they're like, what? And then some of them don't really understand like the mindlessness of it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they kind of evolve-ish by the end of the night and get a little smarter by like, oh, they're like grabbing stuff and like breaking down the door.
Well, that's what that first one that Barbara and Johnny encountered was. It was like after Barbara got into the car, he was trying to break down and then he went to the other side. It was still locked, and so he found a brick or whatever and threw it through the window. So like they still have like this weird, like they're not mindless at all, and but they're dead people.
Yeah.
Technically, they're not mindless. They're smart. They can grasp things. Whereas like now they're
Just dumb.
they don't really grab anything. Like the only time they ever grab
People.
something is when they're grabbing people, and so
That
like-
kind of threw me off a little bit.
yeah.
The other thing was when they grabbed the people. Like, there's that one shot of the younger guy, his wife, when she's being grabbed. They're literally holding, if you're watching the video, they're holding her shirt like this.
Yes.
And she's like acting like they're holding her. And that was my one issue that really I just hated the whole time, is when they're grabbing people. It's obvious that they don't have a grip. Like, there's one part where the guy has a closed fist just next to her like shoulder, and it's clearly not touching anything, but she's like acting like she's like being like trapped.
Yes.
And then Barbara like jumps up and throws a board against the door, and it tries to save her, and then everyone just all the zombies just let go, or the ghouls just let go of her, and then she just stands there for a second and is like, oh, and then moves.
Yeah.
It's that I just hated how there wasn't. You couldn't see the power behind them like holding the people.
Also, like one of my biggest issues, and it's I think it's like a product of the time, is like the quote unquote action, where so Ben is bashing into zombies' heads inside the house at one point, and he's just so like slow,
Yeah,
and it always
and he's clearly missing.
Yes, and I don't know why they do that. Why they did that a lot back then in these types of movies, whereas like now it seems like they just, if you're bashing somebody's head in, they move the person.
They'll just be like a watermelon.
Yeah, they'll move the
bag.
person out of the way, and then hit something inanimate and then whether there's blood that needs to pop up or whatever. But it seems like during this time they keep the person there, and they don't want to hurt them, and they're so slow. Like, that's not gonna hurt anybody if you're just slowly doing it. And yeah, that was probably one of my biggest things. It's like the action sequences is like, it's obviously
they're really rough at the start, and then they do get better. But I think the worst one is when Ben and the young guy are like trying to board the door, and then the young guy's just like slashing the knife. They were supposed to be like this shock value that you still get, but it just completely draws the emotion and the tension from the scene when it shows that, when he just keeps swiping and it just shows the hand, and then they're like making these weird over exaggerated grunts and like pushing the door, even though it looks like there is no force behind anything.
No,
they're just kind of like just slowly just pushing it, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it like throughout this entire movie, it seems like anything that was supposed to be forceful looked so slow and just weak, but they're trying to, the intention is to make it seem like they're forcing something, whether it's bashing somebody's head in, boarding up doors, or pushing somebody, or dealing with the zombies, like Johnny and that one guy, the first one that they see,
Yeah.
and they're like in a tussle, and it doesn't seem very like they're just kind of dancing around. It
Yeah.
seems like, and it's not that stuff kind of like took me out of it, and it made it not so impactful.
Yeah, it's like watching like little kids like have a wrestling match, and it's almost like it doesn't even look like they're like pushing each other.
Yes, yeah, and even like Johnny's death, I didn't even think he died.
Yeah,
to be honest, until
the last shot, or like one of the last shots when you see Barbara's face. I hated Barbara's character.
I did too.
After the cemetery stuff, and she just sat there, and then Ben just knocks her out.
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it seemed like he was trying to slap some sense into her because for some reason it made it seem like this movie made all the women, like the 3 women in this house, delirious. Like Barbara was obviously just taken out of the entire situation.
She was just in shock the whole time, which makes sense, but like she seems like she's the protagonist from the start.
Yeah.
And then she just sits on the couch the whole time, just.
Yeah, and it was almost like 25 minutes after Johnny died that she even acknowledges that he's not there anymore.
She's like, oh wait, Johnny's not even here.
Yeah, we need to go get him and stuff like that, which really irritated me. I'm like, well, where did Johnny go? Because they made it, the way they shot it made it seem like he didn't die. He just hit his head and he just needs to be woken up and taken or whatever. They probably should have brought him back as one of the. I'm gonna call them ghouls because this is probably the worst depiction of zombies as far as looks that we've seen.
That did throw me off at the start when they're all just people.
Yes,
because if you're watching the video, this artwork, no one looks like that at all. But that's like the whole shtick with this movie. Yeah. I mean, there's some like effects with like some people's necks or stuff like their face,
yes.
Or like a hand or something. But that's like it. But for the most part, they're just people.
Yeah.
And then I did like when they're eating the young guys.
Yeah, after the truck blows up.
Yeah, after the truck blows up, that looked really good.
It did look really good. Also unrealistic because both of them were in the truck when it exploded, so their bodies shouldn't really look like that because it seemed very like they had just carved up a freshly dead body and took out the insides of it. But there was no char to those two.
The one part that I didn't like about that is this is especially when I think like the extras didn't really know what was happening, is because they all just kind of look like they're at like a buffet that has like a really thin, like there's like one thing left.
Yes.
And so everyone's just kind of like there's one person that like grabs something and then like just looks confused and then just walks.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, along right before that scene when they get to the gas pump, and Ben just shoots the gas pump.
Yeah.
Like that. Why? It was so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, he got it to a good point where like it wasn't going to explode, but if he would actually hit the gas pump, it would have all exploded already. And yeah, that part irritated me as well. There were a few things that just kind of irritated me, but I just felt like not part. I felt like people didn't really understand what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I do think all the issues with this movie are when the movie came out. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like this was a few years ahead of its time, and it just didn't have that yet. It didn't have what they needed for it.
Yeah.
But it still works.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's like so much charm with this movie. Like even the font, like that is like the font of this movie is like this zombie font, and like created this new wave of creature. And I was gonna wait a little bit, but I'm gonna tell the story of what happened. So this movie originally was supposed to be called Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But so when they had the thing, it said Night of the Flesh Eaters, and they had their copyright thing. Mm-hmm. And then they changed it to Night of the Living Dead, and the editor forgot to put the copyright thing on it. So right when the movie got distributed, it was too late. So this movie had no copyright. So the second it came out, it was public domain.
Oh.
So that's why there were so many like home videos. So people could literally just buy it and resell it themselves, and didn't have to pay anything to George, nothing.
Oh.
So it was fully for free. Like he lost so much money for this.
Oh wow.
So it was entirely public. So that's why there's so many home video versions, and it was everywhere. Even in movies, if you watch movies in the background, they're probably watching Night of the Living Dead because they didn't have to pay royalties for it. And there's that one little mistake that caused it. But because of that, it was on so many runs. It was on 24/7 all time. So it got so much more traction, and so many more people watched it because it was just that available. And because there was no copyright on the zombies. So zombies were public domain. And then that's what sparked everything. So if this movie had a copyright on it, would zombies be as big as they are today? Or be anything what they are?
That's a good point. I don't know.
Because like that's huge. Like public domain immediately.
Yeah, that's
and they don't have free range to do whatever they wanted with it.
Wow.
That's why it's such a popular movie today, because of that
little mistake really just.
But
I mean, it's like a blessing and a curse almost, because it did get distributed everywhere. Everybody's watching it. Everybody uses it. It's now it's
so iconic.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason why it's a Criterion. So, I feel like money-wise, that's a horrible thing to happen. But as far as like popularity, that's good for them. For
even good for the name change, because Night of the Flesh Eaters. It's cool, but it's not as good as Night of the Living Dead.
I would have thought aliens.
Yeah.
Not zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're not even called zombies in this movie. They're called
ghouls.
They're ghouls and flesh eaters.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's... I mean... Yeah, well, they did take inspiration from, like, the I Am Legend book for this, with, like, the idea of the ghoul. And then it just kind of evolved into its own thing because people had free liberty to do whatever they wanted with it.
Yeah.
So that's just it's a weird thought to think about.
Yeah, very. All right. What did you think about the sound design? Because I actually, as far as horror goes, is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the sound design. I mean, the most used audio is definitely the boards. There's only one time where the boards are just weird. It's at the end when Cooper doesn't open the door, and then Ben just kicks it down, and then they're holding it up. He doesn't grab any nails. He's just hitting the door. Like, if you look at the door, there's just hammer marks on the door. Like, he's not hitting anything. Yeah. But it just kind of, like, everything is, even if you haven't seen this movie, because this is the first time I've watched it. Yeah. This is the first time you watched it. Everything just feels nostalgic and iconic. Like, everything just feels like you're just like, you fully understand why zombies are what they are today because of this movie. Yeah. And the sound design is just that. I feel like it's just iconic, and it's just nostalgic. Like, it's
and there's so much orchestra throughout this entire film.
It's loud. Yes. And just hard. And impactful.
My favorite moment as far as like the sound, the score and stuff is when the little girl turns into a ghoul and starts stabbing her mom.
Very reminiscent of Psycho.
Yes. But obviously what it was looking like didn't look good. It looked the best out of everything else
like those types of kills.
Yes, throughout the entire movie, it was probably the best one. But you had that intense orchestra going, but then they overlaid it with screams and
it almost felt like it was just burned. It just felt like overlays.
Yes, yeah, there was like a ton of overlay, but like they were in sync, so it made it sound more intense than if they just had the music, which was really good.
It was like
the voice it didn't match because it didn't look like she was screaming at all, but it worked for what they were trying to do.
It was like echoey, but at the same time narrow.
Yeah, and there was a lot of echo.
but it felt focused, like a focused echo. It was cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did too. There were some camera shots that were strange to me. Like when Ben first shows up, he's just like, it cuts to Barbara and then it cuts to him and he's like right there, which was weird to me. But I feel like they did that a couple of times, and it was just like the.
I feel like they did that a lot with Cooper.
Yeah, but it felt weird to me. But I understand the fact that like what they were trying to do. But yeah, and there were a lot of like tight interior shots that I liked a lot.
I do think the best visual effects shot, which is definitely the most probably iconic from this movie, is when we first see the dead woman upstairs. That looked really good.
That looked good, yeah.
Yeah, like it. That is such an iconic. Like, if you look up Night of the Living Dead, that's like one of the pictures that pops up because it's just like jarring.
It was creepy and it was kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
At that point in the movie, so yeah, I like that a lot. One thing I didn't understand though is, and I might have missed it, but so Harry Cooper and his family, they were already in the house and they were just in the cellar. Okay.
Yeah. So they originally it was the young guy and his girlfriend. They got into the house, and then Cooper and them got into the house, and then they just hid in the basement. Okay. I was so happy when he got shot. When Cooper got shot, I was like, good.
Yeah, I was sick of his character.
And then
I don't like those characters at all. They bother me so much because they're just so irritating and they kind of take away from the overall story.
To me, with those characters, is that they are. It just upsets me that they're so well written that they anger me so much, which makes me more upset because like, that's just good. It's just good writing. I'm upset that like the trick, the illusion, is so powerful. Yeah, but in a good way. I'm a good upset about it. Yeah, but I was so happy that he got shot and eaten, and then his elbow was all.
Yeah, to have his daughter actually tear off his arm and eat him, that was.
I liked how Ben shot him like 6 times after he died, and then
he was so done with him.
And then he was like, okay, yeah, I get to shoot him, and then he saw that his wife was like still alive, and he's like, oh, I don't want to kill her.
And then he just mercy finishes her off. So this movie had a lot of impactful moments. One was at the beginning where Johnny teasing Barbara and saying they're coming to get you, which is instantly iconic and kind of set the tone for what's about to happen, and a lot of foreshadowing, which was nice. Another one was Ben's final stand. So after surviving the night, he's shot by the search party, which was very impactful because
I was like
after everything that they had gone through that entire night, just to be killed off by one of your own.
Which is weird because you never really see anything like that a lot with zombie stuff. Even though we did see it in Sinners. Like in the final night, Smoke. Yeah. Is the last one standing and he dies. Yeah. Yeah. But.
And then the little girl Karen killing her mother, I feel like just broke boundaries.
I was like.
Yeah, I felt like it just broke a boundary that for that time wasn't something that they would do, where they would just have a child do something like that. Whereas like now with the latest movie Weapons.
Or like even Megan. Annabelle.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass?
And no, I wouldn't consider that. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I also like the news broadcasts. Yeah. Throughout the entire thing, I felt like a lot of what they were saying was just like,
same thing.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was just kept repeating the same thing and nothing was new. But to have like when they finally got the TV, it was nice of them to show like the newsroom and what they were doing, and then also like different parts. It almost made it seem like they're
pre-recorded.
Well, yeah, but I was gonna say like the way the outbreak started for me almost seemed like there was aliens,
Mhm.
and which
I mean,
thought was a weird
60s
choice.
was a big thing for
Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like it was a weird choice to go with, as that's why this outbreak happened.
yeah.
Especially just like it happened near Venus. They blew it up near Venus, and then it instantly kind of came back, and that was it. That was weird. But yeah.
Apparently, so one of the news reporters, like one of the news anchors,
Mm-hmm.
was also a zombie. He was zombie number 1.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wonder if
Which
you
they're
could see 'em.
credited as zombies
Are they?
on, I think, everywhere. I know I saw it on like IMDb and Letterboxd. They were rated as, this says newscaster and zombie,
Hmm.
zombie, zombie posse member, zombie news reporter, newscaster, zombie posse member, zombie, zombie, and it just keeps going.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Because I'm trying to think of the like if I because I did look in the background when they were shooting the TV, and I didn't notice anything, so that was kind of weird. But I mean, these ghouls are kind of hard to pick out as one of them, but okay. Let's see.
So, what did you think of the score with the soundtrack, or the score with the like Foley and sound effects?
I liked it a lot because it was. I think these movies work best with orchestra
Mhm.
instead of, you know, computer generated sounds or music or anything like that. The orchestra really kind of brings your feelings out to what's going on, like makes you feel tense, scared, things like that. So I think it worked really well for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you think? Like, what zombie media do you think is the most influenced by this?
Um, I mean, I the entire time I was thinking like Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, and 28 Days Later. They were probably like the big 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as I mean, definitely Walking Dead because of how popular it was and how long it ran.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say those 3, Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, 28 Days Later, even though Shaun of the Dead is technically a spoof of Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then Return of the Living Dead is a spoof of the
yeah.
Pretty sure Dawn of the Dead is the first sequel to this,
Yes.
and then it's
Yeah.
there's like 4 more.
Yeah, so Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead were sequels to bring an expansion to the zombie apocalypse. So, but as far as like others that isn't by Romero, 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead.
How would it rank on your zombie movie or media?
Zombie, oh man.
I think I like 28.
I like 28 Days Later.
I
That's
think
probably my favorite.
yeah.
And because I don't like zombies. I don't like zombie movies or zombie media. Like the first couple of seasons of Walking Dead were pretty good, and I liked them a lot. But then after a while, it kind of got repetitive and a little irritating. But like I wanted to just kind of finish it and see where it was going. And then I had to stop after season 11. Just it got to be too much, and just like I couldn't stay into it. But zombie movies are not my thing. I don't care for them. I don't like those. Like I don't like I Am Legend.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing with I Am Legend, have you heard like what happens in the book?
No.
So, the book, what happens is, since he is the only one left, all of these like vampire things,
Mhm.
they start to kind of become smarter and evolve to the point where they have like their own like civilization and their own like life.
Mhm.
And so it seems like he is actually the monster, and he's still killing them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is known as like a legend among them because they
Um,
get hunted down by him. So to them, they're the normal ones, and he's the monster. But it's like it's like a reverse. Uh, what was it called? Tarantino said it. A fouke le fouke. It's a reverse on a reverse.
Oh, okay.
So it's like taking the concept of Frankenstein's monster, except this version of Frankenstein is us.
Oh, okay.
And everyone else is the monster, but they're perceived as not the monster because they're just perceived as people. It's weird.
Okay.
But yeah, the movie didn't do that at all.
No.
But yeah, they came up with the idea for the ghouls kind of based on that book.
Mm-hmm.
It always felt like that there was like some form of zombie before this movie, and they could never really narrow it down until like this one kind of was like, this is what it is.
Oh, okay.
I feel like.
Yeah, it's
because it was always like a weird adaptation of a vampire, like a ghoul, like a flesh-eating ghoul.
But yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's just zombies are not my thing. I prefer the other Universal monsters if we're talking about that kind of stuff, or even just like horror in general. Zombie movies are probably one of the bottom ones, I think. Other than, I would probably, my bottom three for like horror would be zombies, the paranormal movies like the what do
The
you call it?
Ring,
No, the
found footage.
Yeah, the film footage movies.
I don't like
hate
those.
I hate
I
those
don't like them
movies.
either.
Those would probably be my bottom two of horror.
Wow.
Yeah, I prefer ghosts and demons and
Like realistic.
slashers.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to horror, those are my types of movies. But yeah, zombies, I could care less about zombies. Even though this was a good movie, there was a lot of things that like I didn't like about it. Mainly the portrayal of the ghouls, and I think that the reason why they are like the way they are is because it was so like the start. So I never really watched Dawn of the Dead or any of these other sequels. So maybe they evolved, and I just not privy to them and how they look. But the look of the ghouls or zombies in this movie, I didn't care for. So yeah, and I don't like the. Also, it's like these types of movies. They don't really go anywhere. They're all stuck in like they barricade themselves into a house, a bunker, some type of thing, and there's just hundreds of zombies surrounding them trying to get in, and that's where you kind of focus on like the protagonists, antagonists, and like they're clashing, and zombies are always just kind of like in the background.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even like this one is weird because there's only like 12 zombies outside, and then by the end it's probably like 20 or 30.
Yeah, I mean they filled up the living room.
But could you imagine, like, showing George, like the director, like right after this movie came out, like this is your movie. This is like a movie that gets inspired by it, and you showed him World War Z.
Yeah.
And, like all of those zombies. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely an evolution to the zombie monster character, whatever.
Yeah. Actually, World War Z made
That's
the
one with Brad Pitt,
first,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They made the first crowd simulation for like a movie.
Oh yeah.
And they actually based it off of a water simulation. So like
makes
shots
sense.
where they're like going like turning around a corner and they're all like piling up on each other. They basically took a molecule fluid simulation and they replaced the molecules with people. But there's only like 12 different zombies. So you'll see the same zombie over and over again in that movie.
Okay. Do you think this film's ending is one of the most tragic endings to a horror movie?
Ooh. Textbook, yeah. But impact, no.
Really? I would say the impact was a little bit more than.
I mean, the
Textbook,
impact
just because.
did probably give me a whole star rating higher.
Okay. So I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was legitimately shocked, and I felt bad for Ben because he survived everything that he did that night just to get killed.
I've seen a lot also that this movie has so much like subtext for like civil rights movement and like capitalism.
Yeah.
Or like mindless consumerism, I guess, with the
Which I
the
feel like
zombies.
that's zombie films in today.
Yeah.
Like they all have that kind of connotation to
But I
it.
feel like the best adaptation of like the mindless consumerism thing is the They Live. That's like the whole shtick. They're kind of zombies. They're like alien zombies, but they're all just kind of like like all their books just say like obey, no original thought, whatever, or The Matrix.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's pretty much yeah. If this movie was remade today, how do you think they would do it? And should it be remade?
No, shouldn't be remade. How should they do it? Because with something like this is you can't do a shot for shot recreation because then it just still misses the creativity element. That's why like the Psycho remake was terrible. But I feel like for a remake, the only thing that you could take is the name, and I feel like you shouldn't even do that because of how iconic it is. But I still think you need to keep that like a one location thought of it, though. I feel like that's how you do it, is keep it a one location movie and try to stem it off of that. I think I mean it's public domain, but I feel like an indie short film crew or just like a small group of people could probably make something really enjoyable from it, because I feel like something like this isn't. It's something that shouldn't like have a big budget. Like it should be like thin budget and just all creativity. I feel like I feel like that's the only way that you could kind of pay an homage to the original and still uphold how the intention of it, you know?
Okay.
I feel like that'd be the only way.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think my biggest thing was just that like I didn't know about the public domain thing, and so that just blew my mind entirely. But
yeah. Okay. You get to wrap this one up?
Yeah, but okay. I did 5 seconds of scrolling about a remake. It is public domain. There's been like 50,000 remakes, but like to have like a definitive remake, like there was a 1990 remake, 2014. I'm not even entirely sure if like 90% of these are remakes or if they're just taking the title. Yeah, another one 2006 in 3D, and then 2012, another 2012. Yeah, there's just a lot.
And those all had the same name, Night of the Living Dead?
Some of them will have like Night of the Living Dead. So like this one was Night of the Living Dead 3D, Night of the Living Dead Reanimation, and then another one the same year, but called Resurrection, Darkest Dawn, Night of the Living Dead 2, which was a completely different thing. And then Reanimated 25th Anniversary Documentary, Genesis. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. What was your star rating?
3.5.
I was saying 3.5, and then right when it ended, I was like, because of my enjoyment and how much I liked it, and also the fact that I've given like basically every movie this month 4 stars. I gave it 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch some bad movies this weekend. I feel like I have to watch some bad movies.
Yeah,
you have to have a yin and yang, and I feel like I haven't watched enough bad ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch a lot of horror movies. I need to catch up on.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Actually, just watch horror franchises because there's a lot of bad ones in there.
Yeah,
a lot of bad movies.
I'm gonna start with Scream.
I'm gonna watch Ghost Rider 2 tonight. Going real bad.
That one keeps popping up when I'm like trying to find something to watch. And I did turn it on a couple weeks ago to go to sleep, and it lasted 5 minutes, and it was out.
You know, I'm actually, you know, screw it. I might watch that and then watch Corpse Bride, and then maybe Paranorman, and then maybe Frankenweenie.
Oh,
Just do a little Tim Burton thing.
Yeah.
Maybe Edward Scissorhands.
ooh, I haven't watched that one in a while.
Dark Shadows. I like that one. People don't like that one.
That's an okay one. I've only seen it twice.
I think I might watch that too.
Okay.
I think today, I'm gonna try to watch 2 to 3.
Okay.
And just ready to get to the horror or the Halloween aspect, considering Halloween is in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
I've not watched.
It hasn't felt like Halloween time though. Like
No.
especially here. I did notice the leaves are falling, so we're getting there. We're getting to that Halloween feel.
I got. It's so hot still. Also,
Yes, it's
what
hot.
is up with that?
It's hot.
I do have to watch The Thing at some point this month. Greatest body horror movie of all time. Just saying.
Okay.
But what is a good one? Okay, I got one. You got anything else?
No, that's it. That's it.
You can join us for Friday's episode, movie news. I say Tuesdays.
We're diving deep into slashers, so maybe a ranking of particularly the slasher themselves: Ghostface, Michael Myers,
Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees,
you know those, and kind of
Leprechaun.
see if we can have them duke it out, see which one is
Pinhead.
better.
Yeah, there's just so many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But yeah, you can see all of our social media and all of our listening platforms at the top of the description. And we may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything.